Hello, Colts Nation, and what is up, No Horse and Family? I'm a few minutes behind, but I see all you guys already. Nomadic Brian, Dylan, Herbicide, John, Wombat, Angie, everybody's here. We love it. If you're still here, thank you. I'm sorry. I was trying to square a couple of things away real quick before I jumped on here with you guys. But man, are we excited to be back. Am I excited to be out here with you guys? As always, you guys know that we are brought to you by our amazing sponsor, WagerWire. WagerWire is a one-of-a-kind revolutionary sports betting app that lets you get in and out of everything, in and out of your parlays, in and out of the bets, all the way up to the moment that they bust or the moment before they bust. You can go check them out, wagerwire.com. Drop in your email address so you get that notification. You can also go check them out at WagerWire on Twitter. Follow their Twitter spaces. They're by fans, for fans. It's really cool stuff. Check them out, you guys. It is a really, really cool thing. Okay, you guys. So, got a couple things I think that we want to kind of touch on this week, right? We got Anthony Richardson in with the veterans a little bit. We've got Gardner Minshew talking about Anthony Richardson. We've got what else? We got Reggie Wayne talking about Joshua Downs. We didn't get to cover it, but we got Jimmer saying the Colts potentially going up against the Commanders for tampering. We've got all sorts of fun things we can talk about. We've got the defensive side of the ball. We got Dio coming in, adding 15, 20 pounds of extra muscle. We can talk about that. I'm ready. So, let's kind of start off with I guess kind of the big part, right? The big part is we keep hearing this conversation about Anthony Richardson, right? We keep hearing he's exceeding expectations. We keep hearing, man, he looks pretty good. We keep hearing all this. Now, it's important to always keep it in perspective, right? We know outside world, non-Colts fans. We know that he is playing against air. We know that he's playing against rookies, and he's now in here too. We know all these things. We know that it's just a story about his personality when it comes to his mom. It's just a story about his personality when it comes to him staying after the rookie symposium, right? It's just all these things. We know all these things, okay? We know that we heard the story from about how he's a little bit ahead of where everyone thought, including Gardner Minshew. We know all those things, but I'm sorry, you're not going to kind of tamper down our feeling when it comes to it. Like John says here, John says, yo, I'm trying so hard to keep my hype and expectations in check. Bro, it's the offseason. Everyone is 0-0. Everyone's going to the Super Bowl, unless your name is the Arizona Cardinals, right? Everybody's going. And it's okay to be excited. It's okay to be excited about Anthony Richardson. It's okay to be excited about the receiving core that we think could potentially be pretty decent. You've got Michael Pittman Jr., you got Alec Pierce, you got Joshua Downs, you got Isaiah McKenzie, right? You got Jelani Woods, you got Alec Ogletree. We've got all these things, and everybody looks great in the offseason, right? Everybody looks fantastic in the offseason glasses, right, through those lenses. But it's okay. What Colts fans have gone through for the last 5 seasons, 4 seasons, somewhere around there. I've lost track in my head. It's okay to be excited, right? Colton, I see you, buddy. Cheers. Excited to have you in here. Well, let's see what Colton. I'm a Gators fan and watched every snap of AR. Trust me when I say this dude learns quick and on the fly. The front offense was horrific in coaching and talent. They didn't even have an OC. Man, so I y'all know on here, Zach knows. I was not kind of tooting that horn on the Anthony Richardson train, right? I just wasn't. There's a lot of things that concerned me, and this is a great example. This is a guy who's watched every snap. You guys have heard me say I watched every snap of the Florida versus Florida State game, and I had concerns. But Colton I'm sure, would be able to say, like, he watched every snap like he did, and he probably eased concerns from the beginning of the year to the end of the year and what he was able to do, right? And how he was able to progress. We've heard that a lot from guys like Colton or Drake or Rashad about watch his progress through the year, right? Watch how he's done, what he picked up. Now, when I'm talking about like the question that everybody has is he going to be the starter week 1? And I've said, yes, I think that me and Zach have been on the same page. I think he should. I absolutely think he should start week 1. Why? Because he has 13 starts, right? Because he's only played 13 games of college football and he needs experience. And I'm sorry, man, you don't get experience by sitting on the bench and watching someone else play. You get experience by playing. You can't simulate snaps in the NFL. You just can't. So, yes, I think he should play from week 1 if he's ready, if he's able to be coherent and good, and he knows the offense well enough to operate it. I think somebody, I'm trying to remember who it was. Someone Kevin Bowen, I think, had on the radio. They asked, when can he be in? And it was when he's able to understand the protection checks. When he's able to protect himself, then put him in. So, I mean, we're going to find out. We're going to find out real quick. Hey, everybody who's in the chat, Charles, Wombat, Colton, John, Dylan, Herbicide, I see you, man. You know, and I love you, and I am sorry that we were a little bit late, man. If you're in the chat, man, hit the share and send it out to a friend so they can come in here. Let's get a lot of Colts guys. Let's get it kind of going with some questions, with some fun stuff. Share that. Let's get more people in here. Let's get as many people in. And when they come in, I'm going to ask them to share it. So that's the question, right? That's the big question of this offseason, right? Does Anthony Richardson start from week 1? And what does that do? So drop into the chat. Let me know what you guys think. Does he? Charles, how many games Colts win this year? Let's talk about this. Let's, we've gone through the schedule, obviously. We've looked at it. And one of the things, I mean, I think it's 6 to 8 would be my bet. How happy are you guys with that, right? Like, how happy are you if the Colts win 7 games, so 7-10, but Anthony Richardson progresses, looks better than what he did before at the beginning of the year? What do we think? I think the thing with this, you guys, is this year it's not all about wins. It's not. It's not all about wins and losses this year. It's about progression of the young players, truthfully. Specifically, Anthony Richardson. How does he look? How is he different from week 1 to week 6 to week 10 to week 18, right? How does Steichen look? And his coaching, does he look overwhelmed? Does he look like he's in over his head? How does all that look? That's an important question. That's what we're measuring things this year on. My personal opinion, right? Wombat, there we go. Nomadic Brian, 6 or 7 and finished looking like a competitive team. I think that's what you look for, right? Like, we're not expecting the Colts to make a Super Bowl run. We're not really expecting them to probably compete for the division this year. Although the division is down. It's been down for a while. It's a super young division. But we're looking for progress. That's what you want to see this season. Progress. How does the overall team look? And we can't see that right now. That's why, like, I go back to Colton talking about trying to keep it in check, right? It's okay. Like, me and Zach were talking right before this about And it's an exciting time to be a Colts fan. You got a young quarterback who everyone's talking about. You got a young coach who everyone's talking about. We haven't had that in a long time. Like, it's okay to be excited. Wombat jumps in here. Wombat says he's got to start week 1. Let him take his lumps, tamper expectations. So I think, Wombat, I agree. Starting week 1, he's going to take lumps. Let's not forget Peyton Manning, who is considered one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, through 28 interceptions his rookie season. Just dead. Right? You're going to take your lumps. And I think Ballard and Steichen have done a really good job of tampering the expectations. They've told you, hey, this is, we view like, it's going to be a little bit like he's not coming in. He's not going to be Superman day 1. So I think that's a great point. Yeah. And I think this offseason, as opposed to previous off seasons, they have done a much better job of setting those expectations. I mean, let's not forget, you guys, this time last year, we had made the trade for Matt Ryan. We had picked up Stephon Gilmore. We had made the trade for Yannick Ngakoue. And we were like, man, they're going to win. They were the favorite to win the division. A lot of people were saying dark horse Super Bowl. Like, the expectations were out of control last year when they probably shouldn't have been. So it made it much more difficult as a fan sitting there watching it going, man, we were supposed to be good and we are not. So this season, I think they've done a better job. Hey, we want to see progress. Like, this is not we're looking for him to be the Superman week 1. We want to develop him and let him be Superman for the next 10 years, 15 years. So I think that's a great point, Wombat. Herbicide. I wouldn't start AR week 1. Nobody does that to a rookie quarterback. Preseason is going to be very important to that man. I would start AR week 4 at the earliest, roll with Minshew, see what he does. So I see that perspective. I mean, I can see both sides. Like, you got the argument that you don't start a rookie. But there are a lot, like, times have changed a lot to where when you take a rookie this high, they don't sit. Like, Kenny Pickett would be an example a lot of people would say, but Kenny Pickett was picked in the 20s, and he did sit, right? Ben Roethlisberger sat. Eli sat. These are different times, man. Like, that's the thing. Like, Trevor Lawrence didn't sit. Joe Burrow didn't sit, right? Like, I don't believe Mitch Trubisky sat, which is a bad example because I know like Mitch Trubisky. But it's a different kind of era now a little bit with the rookie quarterbacks. Yes, Mahomes did sit an entire season, but you don't see that much anymore, right? And here's my question, Herbicide, to you is start him week 4 at the earliest. What is it necessarily about week 4? Right? And I get what you're saying, roll with Minshew, see what he does. But, man, if he's ready, I think you have to. I mean, I do think people throw rookie quarterbacks in more. I mean, Zach Wilson, and it ruined him, right? It did. Like, truthfully, it ruined Zach Wilson. But the team around him that year too, his first year, and the confidence they put in him, they didn't do that. So, I mean, it's a tough thing. Carson Wentz started right away in Philly. And he looked really good. Like, they traded away people, right? So, I mean, it's a different time now. It's a different world in the NFL than what it used to be, where you would sit these guys and let them kind of just do it. But that's, I think, the beauty of Steichen too, right? Like, he and what they've done in general, they adapt the offense. They adapt more of what they've played in college, what they did in college, to the pro game. And they've been doing that for years. So it's not this out of the box. It's not like when RG3 came in and they brought that entire Baylor offense and it had never been done before, but they did, Steichen did it with Hurts the last couple years. Do what they're good at. And that's the thing with AR, right? Is I think you do what he's good at. We've always said on this show, when he breaks containment and he runs, like, it's known. It's not just him. It's any running quarterback. The reads become easier because now they're accounting for him running. The windows are a little bigger. It makes it easier for him to utilize his legs. You utilize the legs until the arm and the understanding of the offense comes along. Charles, I know get new players called this year. I don't know. Colton, AR needs to start, learn on the go. He's mentally tough enough. No big expectations. Build chemistry, build confidence, opens up the playbook. I agree. Like, I do agree. Colton, we are like-minded tonight, my man. I agree. I think that says a lot. I mean, we don't know. I mean, we think we know about the mental toughness. They have tampered the expectations. Let him learn. Let him get out there. And man, worst comes to worst, man, you turn around and hand the ball to Jonathan Taylor like you've done the last couple of years, right? If he's healthy, that's a great tool. And Mike Bryant, I can see week one probably won't take first snap, start with select plays, and add more time as game progresses. I could see that. Now, I'm going to say this. Tinfoil, just like, could it be that, like, we're opening at home for the first time in years? The excitement level for him is going to be through the roof, right? I mean, it's going to just, I could see, the week before or a couple days before we get hit with, just a little breaking news that Anthony Richardson's the starter. And then everybody just kind of goes,
hell yeah! Hell yeah!
I mean, it just depends, right? Like, I don't know, but could it be a ploy too? Like, you're going to see a lot of number 5 jerseys at Lucas Oil on that opening game, and we've not had one at home in a long time. Colton, the only negative with starting him week one is no matter how much he struggles, you can't bench him unless he gets injured, obviously. That's true. But the idea is not to bench him, right? It's just not. The idea, that's why I say start him week one. I want him to start week one with the caveat of if he's ready. Colton, if Steichen wasn't our head coach and calling plays, I'd be more hesitant. Steichen can make life way easier for him. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, Jalen Hurts is a really hard worker. He has put in the effort. He is a great quarterback right now. Highest paid in the league, one of the highest paid in the league. But he was a second-round pick for a reason, right? Like, there were massive questions. He's an amazing runner, and Steichen made his life a lot easier. Now, let's remember, he struggled 2 years ago. He struggled. Sirianni was calling the plays. Sirianni gave the plays to Steichen. The offense became more adapted to what Jalen Hurts did. He improved. They went to the playoffs the next year. He just took off, right? He just took off last year, obviously. MVP candidate, one of the top quarterbacks in the league, Super Bowl appearance, NFC title. Like, the head coach can make things much easier on the quarterback. Herbicide, just give AR some time on the sideline so he can see how it all works. Guys only got 13 starts. I think he would benefit from it over throwing him to the Wolves. I get that point. I do. And Herbicide, man, I'm so glad you're here. I love that you're here. So keep coming around. For those who don't know, who are new to No Horsing Around, 2 years ago, one of our first shows of No Horsing Around was the live stream leading up to, it may have been the live stream or the instant reaction. It may have been the live stream to the Seahawks game. Herbicide is a Seahawks fan, came in 2 years ago and still comes around. We welcome all fans, man. So, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like I said, the only caveat is it's out 2 different sides, right? The guy's only got 13 starts, but we want him to sit on the sideline and watch. Like, he's got to play. He's got to play. That's my opinion. He's got to get the experience somehow, and you don't get it from watching Gardner Minshew on the sideline. You get to understand the speed of the game by being in the game. Just because it worked with Patrick Mahomes, and that's the thing. Like, everyone looks at that. And Herbside, I'm not saying this is you, but everyone looks at Patrick Mahomes and goes, "That's the ideal, dude." It's Patrick freaking Mahomes. I mean, it's not everybody is that. I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes. It just is. And not everyone can do what he did. Not everyone has Andy Reid either. So it's just different. Wombat, nice sounds. I try, man. We've gotten some little sound effects here and there. Colton, those who use the 13 starts argument, Burrow only started 16 games in college. Now that's actually, so I never argued the Burrow 13 or 16 starts. Burrow was always a great argument for, man, there's so much talent around CJ Stroud. Burrow, and go look at that team at LSU. Oh my God. It's insane how much talent was on that team. Burrow's kind of a freak too. I mean, that's a great point. Like, here's the thing: like we've learned this through the head coaching search this year, through the draft, through the quarterback, discussions. Is we have learned that we can make an argument for whatever we want, and that's the beauty of our show. That's the beauty of the No Horsing Around family. You're welcome to make whatever argument you want. You want to argue against me? That's fine. You want to agree with me? That's fine too. I'm going to let you have that platform. Herbicide Mahomes is no Geno. I agree. I'm so glad Geno balled out. I was so happy for him last year. Let Dylan, let AR play. He needs the experience. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I agree. And I'm seeing some names in here. I don't know. Hey, if you haven't yet subscribed and become part of this family, make sure you hit that subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you don't miss when we do go live, right? Which you try to do once a week, Wednesday or Thursday. I think last week we did Friday. Make sure you're doing that. And if you want to make sure as you're dropping comments in the chat that I don't miss it, hit the little tip jar, man. You can do a little super chat and we'll make sure that it gets read and answered. Uncouth. I'm just going to trust Steichen on this one. He sees him every day. If he's ready week 1 to get much needed reps, good. If he can't handle failure yet and isn't ready, no biggie. I think that's a great point. I mean, we're not there. And Steichen's going to make the right call. I don't think they're going to force it. This is Steichen's quarterback that he wanted from everything we've been told. This is Ballard's job. Like we talked about that last week. Like if he fails, Ballard's going to get fired. So, I mean, they're not going to rush it. If he's ready, he'll play. He just will. Trust the Steichen. I like that. That's a good little phrase. Herbicide, Malik Willis should have sat him, borderline ruined him. Hey, I agree. I'm good with it. But also a different situation. Malik was a 3rd-round pick, not the number 4 overall pick. And they wanted to sit him. Tannehill got hurt, and they were forced to play him because their mistake was they didn't have a quality backup behind him, behind Tannehill. So Malik had to play. And they didn't set him up for anything good. They had no weapons there. Like it was a, man, don't get me started on the Titans. Oh, I listen to Titans radio every day and have to hear them talk about Tannehill and Levis. Don't get me started. We can bring in people. Bring in Titans fans. Hey, everybody go tag a Titans fan and we'll talk to them. Hey, if you're just joining us, you guys make sure, hit the subscribe, hit the bell like we just talked about. And if you want, we'd love it. Hit the share. Get this out to other people. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to get into this chat. And we're going to go for as long as you guys want to go. More people, the longer we'll go. Okay? So we've been talking kind of about AR starting, what we think. Should he start, right? We've talked a little bit about the expectations for the Colts, right? I want to float this out now. We talk so much AR5, right? And rightfully so. He is the face of the franchise now. He is the next franchise quarterback. That's the fingers crossed, right? Who are you excited about outside of him? Who is a veteran that you're excited to see? Maybe it's a second-year player. Take another step. Who's another rookie in this class that you're excited to see? That's what I'm curious about. Like rookie in the class, I think a lot of people would agree. I'm excited to see Joshua Downs. I am. I want to see what he does. A player who I think will take a massive step next year. And he's gotten a lot of traction lately. Jelani Woods. Now, y'all know I'm not new to that bandwagon. Like I've been on that one. Follow the channel, go back far enough, and you're going to see I did one expecting. I think I had him at 6 touchdowns last year was my prediction. I came pretty close. But I think he's going to be fantastic. I think he's going to take a big step because he's such a big target. So for a quarterback that might struggle with accuracy issues, you want a big body, right? And I'm not going to negate Joshua Downs because I think he's already building rapport with Richardson, already doing it. You hear them throwing in the parking lot, right? And all you can think is, please, God, just be careful. But they're already doing that. It's going to be really interesting to see. So y'all tell me, we got a decent amount of people in the chat. Who do we like? Who's another one that you want to see? Who's another guy? Maybe it's, Herbicide says, Joshua, Nomadic Brian says Joshua Downs. Herbicide's got a great point. I just want to see Shaq back. And Julie's Brents looks interesting. Jealous of you guys getting him, right? Those are great ones too, right? Like that's a great storyline. We could talk about, do we think Shaq comes back full go? Do we see it? Like, is he the Shaq of old, or is he not going to come back the way that he once was? That's a great storyline. That's someone that everybody's watching, right? You could say the same thing for Jonathan Taylor. Is Jonathan Taylor going to be back? Jonathan Taylor had not missed a practice until last year since like middle school. Like it just wasn't, right? He was not injured. So is that going to change this year? Is he back to doing what he did? Is he back to not being hurt? And that's a great one. Herbicide, that's a great one. As far as a player, maybe not necessarily taking the next step, but taking the step back into what he was. I mean, we can say what we want. Zaire Franklin played amazing. I love Zaire Franklin, but he's not Shaq Leonard. Shaq Leonard is a different kind of dude, man. That's the offensive rookie of the year. That's a consensus two-time All-Pro, right? That's a nominee for the defensive player of the year. That is a future Hall of Famer if he's healthy. So I mean, and that's the quarterback of the defense. Like I think I heard someone say that, like quarterback of the defense makes all the difference in the world. That's a great one. Brent's is another great one because I think he's going to step in right away. Like he's going to be expected to start at corner right away. Here's a name for you guys that we don't talk about too. Nick Cross. We expected big things from him. And he got in that doghouse real quick last year, and we did not see him again. Do we see him? Does he come back? Is he back? Or is that a dud of a pick? Right? Wombat. Who do you think will be running back 2? I like Evan Hall. It's going to be Zach Moss. That's my opinion. Zach Moss is going to be running back 2. I would be stunned if he wasn't. He showed really well in Jonathan Taylor's absence last year. When he was injured, he played really well. Charles Hill, thank you for coming in, man. Charles, Colts signing more players before camp. Maybe. Our third pick, Brent's, I think he will have 5 picks. Woo! 5 picks. Man, 5 picks would put you in the offensive or defensive player of the year candidacy. 5 picks is a lot. That's a decent amount. I like it. I would love it. Nomadic Brian, Jelani Woods, 500 yards receiving. Let's go. Hey, Nomadic, how many touchdowns, man? I'm going to go with my 6 again from last year. I think that's much more doable. Herbicide, Shaq's a beast. Wombat, who do you think? Okay, who do you think? See, Wombat, I'm going to tell you this, man. This is when you hit the super chat, so I don't miss your question, so you don't have to repeat it. So I'm sorry about that, man, but I did answer it earlier. Dylan, not to mention we will have Sanchez back next year. Missed him. That's a big thing, you guys. Like let's not get lost on that. Like Rigoberto was out all year, and the special teams still was pretty good. I think we obviously suffered from it. Let's not sleep on Matt Gay too, though. Like that's a big signing. I know that's a kicker, but man, how many games over the last 2 years did we lose because we couldn't get it between the 2 uprights, right? Whether it be an extra point or a field goal. These are big things too. Herbicide Brents is going to start probably. Rick got 5. He didn't win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Are we talking about Shaq? He did win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Shaq totally won the Defensive Rookie of the Year. He beat out Derwin James. Colton, this year, run the damn ball will be all the way back. Yeah, and it'll be a different kind of run because you got the legs of Anthony Richardson, which changes a lot of different things. Uncouth, Colts design, Arazia. We don't need that. Okay, that's a touchy one. I get everything that's going on. I'm not diving in. This is not like a social commentary podcast. Plus, like we said, Rigo's coming back, so I don't think you have to worry with that. Uncle, just in case Rigo isn't the same, kid's got a cannon for a leg. I mean, I get all the reasons. I don't see Ballard pulling that trigger. Wyatt, if I've missed you earlier in the chat, Wyatt, which I'm going back through, I have not. I am so glad you're here, my man. We've missed you. Gus Bradley has enough talent to work with for his unit to be in the same conversation as the Legion of Boom. That's high praise, but it's possible. He's building it. I think the consistency between last season and this season is huge. I think that's going to present a lot. I think you've got a lot of talent, and they went so defensive. They went so like freak athletics, right? And you lost Gilmore, which is huge. But you do if he can give you something, right? And you seem to maybe be getting a more engaged Kenny Moore this year than last year. And they seem to have had a talk, him and Gus Bradley, about what they're going to do here. Quiddy's taking another level. Dio, we talked about that earlier. He's coming in with I think it's like 20 pounds of added muscle, something ridiculous, right? You got him coming in there. And let's not forget, I'm not going to sleep. Samson Ibukong. I'm excited to see what he does. What does he bring the team? There's a lot of talent on defense. Herbicide, Tarek Woolen from the Seahawks got 5 picks last year, and they gave Defensive Rookie of the Year to Sauce, a.k.a. Hansy Ramsey. I like that nickname. Anybody see the cover of Sports Illustrated with Sauce on it? Ooh, it'll haunt your nightmares for a little bit. I mean, it's not pretty. It just kind of makes you want to just,
Boo!
It's just, it's not pretty. Yeah, I mean, sometimes picks aren't everything, but if you get 5 picks and you look good and your team's good, plus Sauce had those moments, I guess. Okay, Uncouth. Clearly, teams don't want him. You saw he was proved innocent, right? Yeah. I get all that. I don't want to get into that. I just don't think that it's something they're going to do with Rigo coming back. But I get it. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Colton, over under 8.5 sacks for any single player on this D line. Ooh. Oh, that is good. Okay, so let's go across this. So, Kwity Paye, Dio Dangbo, Samson Ibukong. Do we think any of them get? I mean, we're talking 8.5. Man, you picked a great number, right? 8.5. So you got to go 9. Oh, do you get 9? Buckner will get some. Grover's going to get some. Man. I mean, I would love to say I think Kwity is going to take a jump, but I don't know. If anyone's going to do it, this is my opinion. If anyone on the line is going to do it, it's either going to be one of 2 people, in my opinion. It's going to be Kwity Paye, and this is going to sound funny, or it's going to be Buckner, because the way he just plays, right? The way he gets sacks. It's going to be one of those 2. Wombat. Was Gus Bradley the DC for the Legion of Boom? I believe it was Dan Quinn for a little bit. Gus Bradley was there too. Dylan, is anyone excited to see Ogletree? I am. I am excited. He was looking really, really well in camp. We don't have any clue what he looks like in a game environment. He did come up from a smaller school last year from Youngstown State, but he looked really good. Hopefully he gets some run. I think they expect nice things from him. And if you're in that camp that you think Mo Alley Cox is on the way out and to possibly be traded, then you got to really like him, right? Let's see. Kwity got 9 in him if he stays healthy. Big if at this point from Uncouth. I mean, I think we all want to see Kwity take the next step. Herbicide agrees Kwity Paye. McBrien, Kwity had 6 if healthy. I'll go Kwity 9 sacks. I think it's very doable. Like I said, I think it's either Kwity or it's DeForest Buckner who are going to get that many sacks. Wyatt, of the 12 picks, who doesn't make the 53-man roster? My lone choice would be Titus Leo. Witt would never clear waivers, and most will contribute. Oh man, I don't know. I think they feel really, really good about the draft this year, right? Like they were getting players. They got Downs in the third round when they had him like as a second round pick, you know. So I mean, they feel really good. I mean, heck, Darius Rush, like, like I don't know. The question would be too as we get close to camp is flip that around. We ask it every year. It gets asked every year. Who's the undrafted free agent that they keep? Like that's a great question as we get closer to camp and things like that. Charles, will come Colts get new players book? I hope. Okay, Charles, man, you gotta type it a little bit cleaner for me to understand, man. Witt and Leo straight to the practice squad. Hull could not make it. Yeah, I mean, there's a chance. It's where are you deepest, right? And where can you? Not only that, the key, like Wyatt said, is who can you slip through to the waivers, right? Like, just look at last offseason, right? We kept three quarterbacks because we knew coming off of the preseason, there was no way we were going to be able to sneak Sam Ellinger through waivers. There just wasn't. So you have to be able to pick and choose who can you try to cut, who can you sneak through onto the practice squad, and who do you know for a fact you're not going to be able to do that. Colton, I heard they may not put Witt on the practice squad because several other teams wanted him. They could steal him from the practice squad. Yeah, that's what we're just talking about, right? Like that's who can you sneak through? You know, like there are players man, if I try to put him through, he's gone. He's so gone. To take from practice squad, you have to sign them to active roster. Man, there's some bad teams and there's some teams that like some players. Like it's not unheard of. I'm not seeing it, or they would have drafted him. I mean, that's if we can get into that too. Like that's the thing. Like, how much do you like a player? Would you have drafted them? Like you hear that argument all the time, but it's a great point. Charles, I'm sorry, but I can hardly spell to go, so I'm just going to pass what I try to say. I'm sorry. You're good, man. You're good. I'm going to try to pop you up. I'm going to try to answer your questions. Okay. So as we kind of look at that too, right? Wombat Samson could get 10 sacks as a starter. I mean, I'll tell you this. I got a buddy of mine. He covers the Niners. Jason Aponte. He's been on here in the past. Man, it was probably year and a half ago when we played the Niners, and I've good friend. I mean, I'm friends with him now. We talk, and I asked him about Samson, and he had high praise for him. And he's like, "You got a really really good one." It says a lot coming from the Niners. And I don't think you can look at his stats. That D line is so deep. How much run do you get? Colton, who leads the team in interceptions this season? Ooh, okay. Colton, man, you were given like some great, like not necessarily over unders. Excuse me, but just great little like nuggets out there. Kudos to you. Who leads the team in interceptions? Let's kind of sit here. I mean, we got some people saying Brent's with 5. Does Kenny play a bigger role? Could it be, that it's so spread out that you have a Shaq Leonard coming in and getting maybe 3 or 4? I'm gonna go. Man, I'm gonna keep an eye on Julian Blackman this season. That's what I'm gonna do. Because the guy is a ball hawk and he's coming off of an Achilles. I know. But he is a ball magnet. And I'm very interested to watch him. I'm gonna say he might, because he's gonna be able to float around back there. As a whole offensive unit, I think the Colts get 20 touchdowns. That's not a lot. Is that a lot? Does that feel like a lot? You divide that over. I mean, that's That's a little over a touchdown a game. So you're like, Dylan, how many points do you think we average a game? Like, you're going to do that, like 10 points a game. We're kicking a lot of field goals. I think that number's higher. Nomadic Brian, I'll go. Thomas leads the way in interceptions again, 5. Emil Akiro, I may say that wrong. Akirio is a close to a lock as an undrafted free agent ever gets multi-year start. The SEC can play if the medicals are good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's definitely someone to watch as an undrafted free agent. Forget active roster. He might start uncouth. I like it. Contract year for Blackman, too. That's a good pick. Thank you, Colt. Touchdown in a game ain't good. That's Russ numbers. Oh, man, you're taking digs at Russ. He was bad. I mean, like, he was not good. All right, so Dylan comes back with true. How about 35 to 40? I mean, if you did 35 touchdowns over the year, I mean, let's just do a little math live on air, right? So you got 35 touchdowns and you got 17. It's a little over 2 touchdowns a game for that. 40 touchdowns, 2.5. I think that's probably like 40. Like, that might be doable. Now, Kenny Moore led the team in interceptions for a while, 2 years in a row with 4. Will he come back with that? He's another one that's interesting. There's a lot of little interesting storylines this year, right? Like, Kenny Moore was not Kenny Moore last year. He just wasn't. He looked uninterested. He looked unengaged. He looked like he wanted to be anywhere but there. We all expected him to be gone, right? Everyone thought he's getting traded away. Then you hear, like, they got calls about him, and they said, no, we're going to keep him. Then you hear him even come out and say, like, he was not happy with how he was used, but he's had a conversation with Gus Bradley. How does he come out? That is a great question. Will they utilize him in the correct way, in the way that he works best? Another great question. Wyatt, does Ellinger make the 53-man roster this year? Does he have any trade value, long shot to make it through waivers to the practice squad? So right now your quarterbacks your quarterbacks are Anthony Richardson, Gardner Minshew, and Sam Ellinger. I don't think they carry 3 quarterbacks this year. I'd be kind of surprised if they did. I think they try to probably get him through on the practice squad. He might make it. I mean, he looked bad last year, right? Like, he didn't look good in his time playing. Yeah, I don't think that they're gonna roll with 3 quarterbacks. I just don't see it. They need that roster spot in a different spot. Colton, got another one for me. Which non-wide receiver leads the team in receptions this year? Joe. Are we taking tight ends out? Like, or can I say that? Like, Jelani Woods, I just think he is such a mismatch nightmare. You saw it last year, and I love Frank Reich. But I never understood why he went away. Why would Jelani Woods get like 10 catches one game and then the next game not even be targeted? Jelani Woods. That's my answer, Colton. That's a great question. Isaiah Rodgers will start this year. Expect him to play well. That's another great one. I don't know how I forgot about Isaiah Rodgers. He's a ball magnet too. So he would be my second pick, probably behind Julian Blackman. Okay. Herbicide's getting to the meaty and juicy stuff. A way too early record prediction. Oh, I am going to go 7-10. Like, I can look through the schedule. I can convince myself of some wins. The front end, back end, but I don't think they're quite there yet. I would be happy to be proven wrong. 7-10. I mean, I would take it. Would you take it? Or 7-10, 8-9, maybe. I think that's kind of where you sit. That's that sweet spot. Charles, I was trying to say, did they call playbooks or is that play call in the NFL? Okay, I'm remembering now. Charles, I'm remembering we did a football tutorial. So they have playbooks, they have wristbands sometimes too. They don't call the plays from the sideline like they do in college, where they come to the line and then they turn. And they come back and they go. They don't do that in the pros. They have the playbook. They radio it into their headset. Hey, run this play. But get in the huddle. Stats rights, 22 stud. All those things. So it's way more complicated. And that's why he's really wanting. That's why he's very much digging into the playbook right now, right? Wyatt, I love you, man. 11-6 AFC South champs. Go big or go home. 11-6. Hey man, you do you. Hey, nobody. Hey, everybody who's in this chat, who's a fan of the Colts or another team, don't let anybody tell you a damn thing about how to support your team. If you want to be happy and you want to think the best, think the best. Don't let anybody temper your expectations. You do you. You be the fan that you want to be. Colton, it needs to be Woods, that's for sure. Too legit of a weapon to not get fed the ball. Colton, give me someone besides Woods. You asked the question, I'm going to turn around on you. Give me someone besides Jelani Woods. Nomadic Brian, will Shaq Leonard get over 140 tackles on his return to the team? There's a huge void to fill with Okereke and McLeod gone. Figures Zaire will lead the way again. 140 tackles. I'll tell you this. I think he gets over 100. The reason I don't know if I'm going to say 140 is I don't know. We still don't know enough to know if he's going to start the season on the active roster or on PUP. Or is he going to play? He's not going to go into the game if he's not ready. He's come out and said that was his biggest mistake last year, was he shouldn't have been playing. So I'm going to go under the 140. I think Zaire's going to play great again. Okereke is a big loss. But I think we had all prepped for that loss. We knew he was going to ask for kind of more than what you wanted to give. Dylan, as AR gets better, we may lose some of our vets. Hope they continue to improve, even if we lose some of those guys. I mean, he's on a 4-year rookie deal. He's not signed yet. He will be on a 4-year rookie deal with a 5th-year option, right? And so, yeah, you got some older guys that are going to go away. What's funny is I'm trying to remember who it was, but they wrote an article that it's a very interesting dichotomy right now with the Colts. Is you have the young rookie you're trying to develop on top of you got some guys in really crucial years, that are dependent on that rookie. Michael Pittman Jr. That's a really crucial year for him. Who else? I'm spacing. Jonathan Taylor's going into a crucial year about the injury. You got players on the defensive side of the ball. You got Shaq Leonard. You got DeForest Buckner, Grover Stewart. You've got veterans with a young quarterback, which I do think is a good setup. I would not go as far as Wyatt goes for 11-6, but I could be dead wrong, and they could come out and look good. Wombat's got them at 9-8. Very, very doable. It is. Here in Tennessee, they used to have Floyd Reese on the radio all the time, the old GM for the Titans. And something he mentioned was every team, you have the really, really good teams like Kansas City, Philly, San Francisco. They're always going to be really good, right? And you have the really bad teams. This year's supposed to be Arizona, Houston. Those teams that are not expected to be good. And then in the middle, you have everybody who can go 8-8. Everybody, the league is set up to go 8-8. It is a execution of a kick here, a fumble here, a missed snap here between 9-8 and 8-9, or 10-7 or 7-10. It's the execution of it, right? So it's a lot of what depends. Wyatt, I believe Tony Soprano will get, or Soprano. Ooh, Soprano. Tony Soprano. What would he do as the O-line coach? Tony Soprano will get the O-line playing at an elite level again. AR's presence helps with his talent that guys will play hard for. Fries is a competent right guard. You hear they seem to be responding to Sperano better. There's just here's my thing with the O-line. There's just too much talent that is there to be as bad as they were last season, right? There just is. AR's presence helps with the talent that guys will play hard for. I think his attitude right now, I think, helps a lot. His willingness, his ability to work hard is helping endear himself. So play on the field is the ultimate one. I think his legs are the ultimate thing too. That'll help the O-line. I mean, how many times did we lose a fumble or did Matt Ryan get sacked because he couldn't move, right? Colton, my prediction would be Woods as well, but if I had to pick someone else, I'll go Jonathan Taylor. I mean, Taylor, people forget, how good. I think people outside the Colts forget how good he was 2 years ago, right? And it's a fluky injury kind of thing last year, just a weird season in general. Which, by the way, if you guys are in this chat, I'm going to remind again, tell a friend to tell a friend. Share it, get some more people in here as we kind of finish this out, as we keep going, right? I want to keep going. I need some people in here, man. I want you guys to share the No Horsing Around family. And I also want to take a second, too, Zach always says, as we talk about the weirdness of last year, to thank every single person who has subscribed or who's been in the live chat, because last year was not an easy thing. It was not an easy thing to talk about the Colts, let alone listen to the Colts. So, I mean, thank you guys. Herbicide, I hate the Niners. I know you do. Colton, JT is an underrated pass catcher. Feel like Steichen may give AR some easy running back screens. Definitely possible, right? Definitely possible. He can catch the ball. He is good at catching the ball. Utilize him. Dylan, Steven, with AR, do you see the Colts more of a run-first team or pass-first team? I think they will be a run-first team. Not to the extent of the Titans, but I think they're going to look to make him comfortable. And what better thing do you have for a rookie quarterback than Jonathan Taylor in the backfield? I think it would be tremendously helpful. I don't see them coming around flinging the ball all over the yard. I just don't air raid, air Coryell. Wombat, do you think 9-8 gets you? I'm going to assume that means a wild card. Man, I don't ever see two teams getting in from our division right now. I just don't. Yeah, there you go. Wombat. Do you think we get to a wild card spot? I just don't envision, because if it's a wild card, there's probably teams with better records. The Jaguars then would have won at least 10 games. I don't think it does. I don't think 9-8 gets you a wild card in specifically in the AFC, right? The AFC is just so loaded. Just look around in the AFC. Aaron Rodgers is now in the AFC with the Jets. In that division, you have Aaron Rodgers, you have Tua, you have Mac Jones. I mean, if we're talking quarterbacks who can lead teams, right? You got Aaron Rodgers, Tua, Mac Jones, and Aaron Rodgers, Tua, Mac, and Josh Allen. Oh my God. Right? That's the AFC East. AFC North, right? You've got Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, Kenny Pickett, and Joe Burrow. AFC West, you have Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, although he's down, Russell Wilson, and Jimmy G, all capable quarterbacks, right? And you're going through that. 9-8 ain't getting you into the playoffs, I don't think. Herbicide 9-8, we did. I know you're talking about the 9-8. In the NFC, I'm not trashing the NFC, but it is a different kind of thing. Dylan will probably know better than the Jags. Yeah. AR with the ability to get out of the pocket and even flick off the first tackler. I like that phrase, flick off the first, and extend plays will be huge. Yeah, I mean, How many times over the last several years have we not had? I mean, Phillip Rivers couldn't move, right? Carson Wentz could, but he made bad choices. And Matt Ryan was a statue. Nick Foles was a statue. And what happened? Like, there's a lot of times that if you could have stepped up or kind of snuck out of the pocket a little bit and extended plays, it would have made a world of difference and probably would have reduced the sacks. Wyatt, special teams can be elite. Defense can grow into elite. Just how consistent does AR and the offense need to be for 11-6? The schedule is conducive to a nice year. Well, I'll tell you this. The part where you say just how consistent does AR and the offense need to be, it was not good last year, right? Like, we can all agree. Like, show of hands, like, it was not good. And we thought we had a good quarterback, right? Like, the quarterback is such – Anthony Richardson is such an important cog to everything that if he's not consistent and he doesn't look good, it's going to go down really, really quickly. Like, that's a – like, to minimize it – I'm not saying you are, Wyatt, but to minimize, oh, he's just got to be consistent. Man, that's a whole different kind of thing. Charles, I hope the Colts play better this year. I think we all do. Nick, terrible. What are we talking about, Nick? Who are we talking about? Mac Bryan, not so good. What are we talking about with the not so good and the terrible? Y'all drop it in the chat. I'm confused. I missed something. I hope the Colts get coached better this year. It's not better, but more consistent, right? Like, he's gone now. I mean, I love Frank Reich. I think he's an amazing person. I think he's a really good coach. I think he's going to do well in Carolina. I think he got to finally pick his quarterback what he wanted. And I think his story and his motivation had just run its course. Sometimes it just runs its course. We were talking 2 years ago, you guys. We were talking about him being a top coach. There was talk, top 10 coach, right? It's just it varies by every season. Dylan, remember Saturday was our coach half the year? I do remember that. No matter, not so good regarding Colts consistently last year. True. Hey, and I told Zach this before I came on the live stream, right? If you need something that makes you feel really good, make sure I'm going to take a second because I want to make sure that I say this correctly, okay? So give me just 1 second. Okay. It is if you go, I want to make sure. Liked. Okay, there we go. Go to Tom Grossi, Grossi. Okay. He doesn't need my publicity at all. He's got a ton of subscribers. This video I'm going to tell you guys to watch. It's 80,000 views. 6 minutes. Colts fan reaction to the 2022-2023 NFL season. It perfectly encapsulates everything. Oh, we got Matt Ryan. Yay. Oh, we tied. Oh, we lost. Oh, we won. What is this? Like, fantastic. It's every emotion wrapped into one about the Colts and their consistency last year. I could not recommend it enough. Herbicide Grossi is demand. Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you guys, it is so spot on. As someone who covered the Colts last year with you guys, so spot on the difficulties of being able to do it. Perina is awesome too. I'll have to check them out. Okay. So, Nick, thank you. Hey, we love it, man. We love when we have new members. We love that you join the family. Make sure you ding that bell. Thank you so much. You got a question, you got something specific you want to talk about here at the end, please feel free to do it. Thomas Hilarious, yep, he had a fan react down the Vikings game, golden. It's all fantastic, right? And that's the thing. Like I said earlier, don't let anybody tell you how to be a fan. We endured something that was very difficult last year. Be excited, man. Cheer for the team the way you want to cheer for the team. That's Good Sports with Brandon. Check it out. Thank you. I will, man. I mean, Yeah. Be the fan you want to be. You want to come in here, you want to rage, we have plenty of people. Tyrell's not here tonight, but he likes to do it. I'm stunned that I have not heard from Basel yet. Maybe I missed him. I don't think I did. I tend to see him. And I will probably feel pretty confident in knowing I'm going to see him in the comments at some point for the video after we drop this. Let's see. Colton, how do you become a member? I've subbed and have notifications on, but haven't found out where to become a member. Colton, so when you go to the homepage, you got subscribe, you got the bell, and then you've got you got a button that says become a member. There are different levels to becoming a member. Okay. It's like one night, and it's a monthly subscription. So for anybody who's in here, we would love it if every single person who's in this chat became members if they weren't. You can do it by selecting, it's like $1.99. Here, I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier as you're asking me. Here it is. Okay. Support the family. Let me drop the banner for you so you can see it. These are the different levels of family membership, right? Of being a member to the channel. $1.99 a month, $2.99 a month, $4.99 a month. You get special badges, special privileges. As we get more members too, we can put content out just to the members. We can do exclusive pictures. We can do exclusive live streams just with members too. So it's a really cool thing. We love it. It helps, and every little bit here, to be honest, every little bit helps every once in a while too. Keep the lights on, keep the mic going, all those different things that we can do, we want to do, we're able to do because you guys help us out in those respects. But like I said, hey, cool new mic. We're not using it to buy a hat, but it's everything that we're able to do in regards to, just doing little things. So Colton, that's how you kind of do it. It's on the homepage. You can do it after the live stream ends, and you can jump on there and you can hit it. And like I said, I'd love every single person who has ever been here with us to do it. Even like do the $1.99. Like that's less than, my ESPN Plus account or a cup of coffee, right? It would be a fantastic thing. Dylan, do you know when you and Zach will be back on together for a video? I do. So we for those who have been around long enough, I'm not going to spread anything. I'm not going to say anything. Zach's still here, and you've done videos. I've done videos. We hit it really, really hard. Y'all know we hit it really hard during the season. We hit this year specifically, hit it really hard during the coaching search and really hard leading up to the draft. And that draft night live stream that we did was kind of a way of taking a breath and enjoying it. And sometimes we all just need breaks, man. Like I've taken breaks. You guys know that. Zach's taken breaks. Over the 2.5 years we've done this show, we've taken breaks. Zach will be back. He is okay. And that's all I'm going to kind of share. But he's not going anywhere. We are still the two dudes talking Colts. We both have said no horsing around. We'll never be just one of us. It is both of us. We would never, neither one of us would ever do the show without the other. So thank you for asking. Peyton had Marvin and Falk his rookie year. AR has JT and Pitt, Pierce, Woods, who had more help. Okay, so here's the only thing with that question. Those are 3 Hall of Famers, right? Like those are 3. Peyton's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Marvin was a Hall of Famer. Marshall Falk is a Hall of Famer. That's a tough. I mean, AR's not, JT's not. None of these guys, like we don't know where they're trending. I mean, system-wise, number of weapons-wise, AR has a lot of weapons. Peyton had some good weapons, had some great weapons, but they weren't as many. So maybe, I'm still going Peyton, but and then coach-wise, like let's not forget coach. Peyton had Jim Mora. Richardson has Steichen. Like which one's which? AO, welcome Nick Spain to the family. Yes, AO is a member, a consistent member of the family, and we love him for that too. So yes, thank you for welcoming him to the family. We've gone over a little over an hour. I got no problem still going a little bit longer with you guys. If you guys got anything else you want to talk about, if not, then we'll kind of wind it down. Like I said earlier, please, you guys, if you've not had a chance to join the family, make sure you subscribe, ding that bell so you don't miss when we do go live, which so everybody knows, like we go live on YouTube, we go live on Facebook, we even go live on Twitch, which is kind of crazy. And you can see us across those ones. So we do all those different things, And see, look at this. I love it. I love it. Nomadic Brian, a little drop in the jar, go Colts. Hey, man, if I could reach through the screen, because Nomadic Brian, for those who don't know, has been around forever with us, right? And giving a little drop in the jar, man. I love it. Nick, appreciate it. Absolutely hyped for the season. I'm with you. Stay hyped, man. And now we got another one. 2-in-1 show. Dylan has become a YouTube member for us. Love it. Welcome to the family. You can proudly say you're a member of the No Horseman family. And as we get closer to the season, we also do giveaways. The more members we have, we may do member exclusive giveaways. We've given away tickets. Yes, that's right. We have given away regular season tickets, preseason tickets. We've given away hats. I think we've even given away a jersey at one point, maybe. I can't remember. So, but you got to be that member if we're going to do it that way, you guys. So I appreciate it. Saying both my teams get generational talents, Colts and AR and Spurs. Oh my God, yes. How about that? Like, I'm not going to go on I don't reveal a lot of my other fandoms. Like, y'all know I'm a Padres fan and a Marlins fan a little bit. I love the Orlando Magic. And I was really hoping I'm good with Paulo Banchero. But man, so lucky with the Spurs. Good job for you. Ayo, welcoming him too. Ayo, welcome Dylan. Dylan, love the podcast. Thanks, Steven, for a great show. I try, man. I try. We do our best. We love when we get new members because here's the thing: like you're not a member of the channel, right? You are a member of this family. Me and Zach have said since day one. Anyone who's in here knows we are just lucky enough to get to talk about a team that we love, and we have the mic in front of us. And you guys were lucky enough that you guys want to listen. Like this started like we would have never thought that we had almost 2.5K subscribers. And you guys are in this chat and dropping money and we're talking and you guys want to hear us. We are just kind of the person in the mic who lets you guys come in here and share your experiences. So we always thank you guys, whether you're a member or you're a subscriber, whether you donate or you don't. Like we wouldn't be here without any of you guys, which is amazing. Nomadic, I'm loving my Baltimore Orioles. Hey, good for you, man. They are looking good. Why Ballard said pre-drafted Colts were getting the best player in the draft. Did he? I think it's possible with a polka dotted unicorn. I think he got their best player in the draft. I think that I think if they had the number one pick, they would have drafted Anthony Richardson. Ayo, I used to love the Magic back in Dwight Howard's era with Jameer Nelson, J.J. Redick, Rashad Lewis, Edu Turkoglu, Michael Petras. Yeah, that was good times, man. I became a Magic. I'll tell you this, and I'm going to lose. Like we're going to lose viewers real quick, but I'm a Magic fan from Anthony Hardaway, my boy Penny, right? Shaq, that Horace Grant, that first run. That's my team, man. Penny Hardaway is still my favorite player of all time. So I'm just saying. Okay, you guys, I'm going to kind of wind it down. We've gotten 2 new members of the family tonight, which is amazing. We got a little bit of drop in the tip jar. Before I go out, if anybody else wants to just, drop in the tip jar before I leave, much appreciated. Anybody wants to become a member, much appreciated. We would love to have you guys kind of come into that fold. But man, we're gonna keep putting stuff out there every week. We may not put out the most stuff right now because there's not a lot. And I know we feel like we know you guys well enough to know you don't want us to talk about the third string, kicker. But never question. We end this thing the same way we always do, but it's true. Never question that I love you. I know Zach loves you. We love Dylan. We love Nick. We love Nomadic Brian. All the guys. We love. I'll go all the way back up. Go to Sarah. We love everybody who's in here. Colton, amazing. We're out.